Hey y'all, I'm Kara Perez, founder of Bravely Go, and today we are kicking off a 4-part series all about influencer money. So if you, like me, are obsessed with how influencers make their money, hit subscribe, hit thumbs up, because you're not going to want to miss a single episode of this series. How are influencers making their money? How much money are they making? Is anyone in debt? Is anyone faking it? And the ultimate question, how long can a career as an influencer really last? Influencing has quickly become a very viable career for a lot of people, and the data shows us that kids want to be influencers when they grow up. So I don't think it's going anywhere in the near future. How do you make it as an influencer in the first place? How do you make money once you've gotten people's attention? What's the longevity of your career that is 100% predicated on popularity? This video is the first in a 4-part series we're going to be doing this month and this month only. So each Wednesday, there will be a new video throughout the month all about influencer finances. I'll be talking about how influencers make money, how they impact culture, and how influencers shape both how we talk about and spend our own money. If that sounds good to you, make sure to hit that thumbs up button and hit subscribe so that you don't miss a single episode in this series. So let's start at the beginning. Who and what is an influencer? When you say the word influencer, I'm willing to bet the kind of image that comes to mind is of a thin white woman doing a fashion haul or eating at a restaurant. I happen to feel that that's a very limited take and somewhat misogynistic view of influencers. Fashion and beauty influencers do make up the majority of people who report themselves as full-time professional influencers, but the second biggest niche in the influencing world is gaming. And I bet when I say gamer, you get a very different image in your mind. There are fashion influencers and beauty influencers, yes, but there's also gaming influencers, woodworking influencers, animal influencers, travel influencers. To limit your definition of influencer to blonde girly is to embrace misogyny, which we don't do around here. This is an influencer right here, ladies and gentlemen. So how do influencers influence? The main job of an influencer is to get viewers to like them and trust them. And that's because once you like and trust someone, you are more likely to take them at their word. So if someone that you like or trust tells you to avoid something, you're likely to avoid that thing. And if they tell you to buy something, you're likely to buy that thing. It's very Katie Heron wore army pants and flip-flops, so I wore army pants and flip-flops. Now, at its core, influencing is nothing new. We have had influential people telling us what to eat, what to wear, how to compose ourselves in basically every single culture across the globe since humans came out of the cave. Rulers and wealthy people in a variety of cultures have set the standard for what fashion is, from the Romans to feudal England. And movie stars have endorsed products via their actual films and direct advertising since movies became a thing. We can see how the rich and famous are living just as well as we can see how John from Kansas City is living. And this means that influence and the power that comes with influence has been made available to more people than ever before. So how do influencers make money? The true test of an influencer is whether or not they can turn the attention that people are paying to them into money. Can they turn online attention into sales? Because at their core, an influencer is a salesperson for a brand, or maybe their brand. And sometimes their brand just so happens to be their life. So how are people monetizing this? Well, there's a lot of way that influencers make money. Most well known is through sponsored posts, where a company pays an influencer to post an ad on their feed or in their stories. Then we have brand partnerships, affiliate links, direct donations through things like badges or gifts, aka tipping, banner ads, sidebar ads, or ads on YouTube, and finally their own products. And most influencers are using a variety of these things in order to make as much money as possible, which leads us to our next logical question. How much money are they making? Well, the answer is it depends, as in most things in the business world and personal finance world. Some influencers who have been around for a while and make consistent income, like Mr. Beast, Emma Chamberlain, or Graham Stevens, make millions every single year. Of course, at the level that these three people have achieved, you're no longer just kind of like a traditional influencer. You are now a business, or you are now the CEO of multiple businesses. Mr. Beast has his burger chain, he has a chocolate bar, Emma Chamberlain has Chamberlain Coffee, and Graham Stephan is a real estate investor. These kind of people are on a totally different level than someone who just shares their favorite outfit links on their Instagram stories a couple of times a week. So those three are kind of on the far end of hyper successful. But if we look more at the median of what influencers are making, we're going to see very different numbers. As of October 24th, 2023, the average annual pay for a social media influencer in the United States is $57,561 a year. That works out to be approximately $27.67 an hour. This is the equivalent of $1,106 a week or $4,796 a month. While ZipRecruiter is seeing annual salaries as high as $93,500 and as low as $25,000, the majority of social media influencer salaries currently range between $41,000 to $75,000 a year, with top earners making about $86,500 annually across the United States. Really, the amount of money that you can make as a full-time influencer is going to depend on a couple of major things. How many followers you have, how often you are working with brands, if you have products of your own and what they're priced at, and something that I think that is overlooked a lot, the niche that you're in. But here's an interesting thing about influencer money too, which is while making actual cash dollars may be difficult for you, a lot of influencers can get a lot of stuff for free. Influencers in any niche are frequently gifted items. You may have seen this in the form of a gifted haul or a gifted hotel stay if you're a travel influencer, or a gifted meal at a restaurant or home delivery service. I know you've definitely seen #gifted in the bottom of an Instagram story, but this gifting is happening in every area of the influencer world. Your favorite dog on TikTok is definitely getting free dog food. Your favorite shirtless woodsman is definitely getting free tools. Musicians may be getting free studio time. Food bloggers are getting free pots and pans. Now, technically, these gifts should be counted as income. It's a little complicated because the laws around gifting are obviously very new since influencing is very new. But here's what the IRS has to say. The IRS explains that these giveaways are not considered gifts for federal tax income purposes, which have different tax consequences, because the providers do not offer their products solely out of affection or respect. Instead, the merchants generally anticipate something in return. For instance, they usually expect celebrities to highlight their products in public. If the in-kind offers include gift certificates or vouchers for trips or personal services, they will be taxable when the recipient uses the item. In terms of tax reporting, it is analogous to the recipient getting taxable income at the fair market value of the products. As such, the merchants distributing the gifts should issue a Form 1099 MISC to recipients and record the fair market value of the items and services. Just because influencers should pay taxes on gifted items doesn't mean they all do. But who's to know? I mean, I certainly have no idea if all of these influencers out there doing, product hauls are reporting that as income. They may be, they may not be. I don't know. And also, not all gifted items are taxed. For example, when an influencer receives a product to review, that product is most likely not considered taxable income. Like when you get a free book from an author in exchange for your public review on the book. That book does not count as taxable income. Influencers, wealth, and attention. I kind of want to do a longer video on the attention economy one day. Let me know in the comments if you would be interested in that, because I think it's really important. We're all very media literate when it comes to the attention economy, and I worry that not enough of us are. However, for today's video, it's important that we understand that influencers are essentially trading in the attention economy. The more attention that they can get people to pay to them, the higher the potential they have to earn money. Think of it this way. If a coffee influencer has their own brand of coffee and an affiliate relationship with a mug company, these are two ways that they can make money if they can get eyeballs on their content and redirect those eyeballs to link in bio, where people now have the opportunity to buy their coffee or buy a mug. So if this influencer has a viral video that has 2 million unique views, that's 2 million chances to make money. Of course, as someone on the internet, I can tell you for sure, there is absolutely no way to ever predict when you'll go viral or even if you'll ever go viral. But it is definitely a goal of most influencers because Going viral means you have more people seeing your stuff. But it's this very effort to capture attention that can sometimes backfire on influencers and lead to influencer fatigue. We're going to explore influencer fatigue in a later video, so I don't want to jump the gun too hard here, but suffice it to say that a lot of people are feeling burnt out on the kind of non-stop sales pitch that they are finding on social media today. But not all influencers are living a rich and glamorous life. Let's talk about influencers and debt. Now, obviously, it's a little bit difficult to know whether or not an influencer is in debt because we're relying on them to self-report and to want to share that information with us, their audiences. Since the whole point of being an influencer is to create an enviable lifestyle, very few people want to share that they have credit card debt. Lisette Calviero, an influencer campaign manager with a following of her own, told the Metro that she found herself in $10,000 worth of debt several years ago, all from spending she did while trying to grow a social media following. And Refinery29 United Kingdom interviewed several beauty influencers about how they built their followings and whether or not it cost them any money. And the responses were quite enlightening. I have dipped into savings and even overspent on beauty items when I didn't have a steady monthly income, says beauty blogger Masha Solchinik at BeauteFocus on Instagram. It was a nightmare, adds Solchinik. I would be very anxious about it, but I felt a real compulsive urge to buy things that I knew would make my Instagram more popular. British beauty creator Annie Thompson also spent her savings on beauty products as she built an online following in the niche, spending $8,600 on products in the course of just 1 year. Just as a little comparison, the median monthly rent in the United States right now is about $2,029. So these influencers in the UK spent between 4 and 5 months worth of rent, worth of housing, just on beauty products so that they could try and build an Instagram following. I think that's very worth mentioning because while some influencers have a Cinderella story of one post going viral and then another and they become wealthy and famous practically overnight, that is few and far between. That is the exception to the rule. Most influencers are like these beauty influencers, where they are paying money out of their own pocket, potentially paying money they don't have and putting it on credit cards in order to literally buy followers online. I also think it's important for us as consumers of influencer content to understand that not all of them come from moneyed backgrounds, not all of them have their parents' money, and not all of them are making a ton of money off of their social media footprint. Someone could easily have 20,000, 40,000 followers and not be making $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 a year. Monetizing online attention is a skill, but there's also a huge degree of luck involved in it. Some people get lucky and some people don't. Some people hone their skills and some people don't. Essentially, my thesis here is that not all influencers have equal finances. So that is how influencers make money online. It's something that I find so interesting and I love when influencers talk about it. So if you're in the influencing game at all, definitely let us know in the comments how your financial journey has been. Have you had a Cinderella story? Are you struggling? Are you somewhere in the middle? Super curious. If you liked this video and you want to see more content from us, go ahead and give us the old thumbs up, tell the algorithm you like us, and make sure to come back every Wednesday this month for the continuation of our influencer series.